Your Kevin Lee Father. This is just basically a test at this point. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I'm not even sure we're broadcasting. Let me just check out my YouTube's feed to make sure there's anybody here. I'll do a test of the chat window as well. And let's see. Okay, so it looks like we're coming through on YouTube. And here's a chat test. Give me just a moment here, folks. Nobody is actually watching. Okay, so the chat function actually is working on this. Let me just type a longer message because I think that window is not what it should be. Okay, Libby's here. So we know that is working. Okay, test of longer chat. Does this go over the screen that I have truncated? Okay, let's take a look at how that comes in. And yeah, okay, so that doesn't work. Let me adjust something here, folks. So this is the anniversary of 1/6. And since Libby's here, I'm going to see if she can help me figuring out. Okay, so this is just ridiculous. Let's see. So that's the whole message. Let me resize this. Let's do this. Let's bring this down here so we can have 3 chat messages on the window at a time. Let's center this, and we can actually make me. No, we don't want to do that. Let's do this here. Nobody wants to see me. Let's shrink this so that we see the window up there. There we go, and we can bring it up here. And I don't even know what to put in our top corner. So we'll have this. This is the best I can do on Marcy's laptop at this point in time. Libby's here. I don't know if anybody else is. I don't know if the message went out correctly. Just a second here. Let me go back. Let me see what Libby's on. Libby is on YouTube. There are YouTube says currently nobody's watching. So this is just I don't know why my voice is going already. I probably have COVID because everybody has COVID. Libby, let's find out if we're echoing here. Let me play a little something here, and you tell me if it's echoing.
Fox News alert moments ago to mark 1 year since January 6th and the riots. President Biden chose to tell a politically divided nation that he blames the former president for the violence.
Okay, are you guys getting echo there? And I see it's coming in stilted as well. So let's see. Keyframe. Come on. Please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. So let me adjust that. Keyframe. Hold on a second here. Video bitrate. Let's bring that down. And I don't even know where to do the keyframe thing. So we may, I don't know. Looks like we got a green light here. So recording should be caused if the recording quality is set to same as stream. No, we haven't got that going on. So we haven't dropped any frames. So it's just a buffering issue on your end, Steph, I think. But let's get right into it and see if anybody else joins us as we go here. Right away, here's Fox framing this. Biden just gave a speech, by the way, about 1/6, and I think it was a very good speech. We're not going to watch the whole thing because it's out there. You guys can watch it if you want to. And I actually have an audition to record. I got a lot of things going on. Since this is just spilling Covfefe, since we don't have an agenda, let me just fill you guys in if you're just catching up for the first time. My son has COVID. His girlfriend just yesterday diagnosed with COVID with a rapid test. His girlfriend has the symptoms. A rapid test said no COVID, but she's got COVID. If she's nauseous, she's can't keep food down. She's no fever yet, but she also she has taste and smell are being affected. So that's COVID, and she lives with a young man, my son, who has COVID, tested positive with a test, even though he tested negative with the eye health test twice. So I'm going to do some experimentation there and figure it out. So anyway, I'm kind of stuck in Seattle. My daughter was exposed to them. I have not been exposed. My daughter's been exposed. She's driving back to Los Angeles because we were in Seattle. So I put her in the rental car. I said, drive, get home so you can isolate at your place alone, and not risk infecting anybody else. specifically me. So they should be fine. She is fully vaccinated and boosted. He is fully vaccinated, not boosted, even though I've been trying to get them to get boosted the last couple of weeks. And the reason is they haven't been able to make an appointment. It's yes, there's all these vaccines out there, but people are having trouble making appointments. Now, can you get a test? No, you cannot get a test. Um, Down in Los Angeles, I'm trying to find a test for Amanda, my daughter, and the only thing I could do is find her one for a walk-up place, which could mean that she's been be waiting in line for a while. And this is not for today. This is not for tomorrow. This is for Saturday that she was looking for a test, and Rite Aid all gone, Walgreens all gone, no appointments available anywhere in the entire Los Angeles basin, including all the way out to Riverside, which is about an hour and a half away from Los Angeles. And then the curative test, which is usually in the past, I just go to curative. I walk up. It's a trailer. It's like a food truck in a parking lot. I think I've waited once or twice the entire pandemic to get tested at a curative. No appointments as of Friday. So there's appointments today at a couple of places. I was trying to do the same thing, finding a test in in Seattle, same results, except that I would find like curative had two tests tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And by the time I finished filling out all the symptoms and have you been exposed and blah, 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 they were gone. So I think as people cancel their appointments, those open up. But by the time you try and get that, they're snagged by somebody else. So uh, Stephanie is saying you need to do a throat swab with the rapid test. No, it turns out that doesn't seem to really help. We'll experiment with that. But the one of the home tests caught my son's COVID. The eye health one, three different tests now. None of them have caught the COVID between my son and his girlfriend. But this throat swabbing, the New York Times just had an article yesterday about this throat swabbing not really making much of a difference whatsoever. These, unfortunately, are all anecdotal. We should know by now. Omicron has been here for a month and a half. We should know these answers. We should have exact numbers. Really easy to do. Oh, here's a positive test for, take an area, whatever was hit first, New York, whatever. Okay, take your PCR test. Okay, now we do some sequences. Is there Omicron? Yes, we need to contact these people. Hey, we would like you to here are 10 eye health tests. Here are 10 Abbott tests. Here are 10. Rub them all. Rub 5 of them in your nose. Rub 5 of them in your nose. Let's get some numbers here. Throat swab these instead of the nasal swab. Do it all. Figure it out, and then you can tell people the best advice that you have if they can get a test. The big problem is that the rapid tests are not available easily either. In Germany, there are over 50 different rapid tests approved by the German equivalent of the FDA. Here in the United States, the FDA has only approved 6 different brands for rapid tests. Germany, over 50. Here, 6. And in Germany, tests are about $1. Here, it's $8, $9 a piece if you can find them. We may have a movie night tomorrow night. Depends on whether I'm on the road or not. I'm still trying to debate whether I want to take off. A lot of it depends on if my daughter starts showing symptoms. I have to talk to. Oh, the good news is my son, who had a fever of 101 point whatever yesterday, it's now normal. So, and he hasn't taken any medication for it since last night. So hopefully this will be very quick for him. That being said, with COVID, there are no rules. We don't know. Deidre can't find any tests right now. Libby says everyone in Connecticut received 3 rapid tests and 3 N95s. That's fantastic. Good for them, thinking ahead of the curve. I understand in Connecticut you can't get a rapid test over the counter. Over the counter? No, in front of the counter, I guess is the expression that's correct. You can't find rapid tests. They're out there, and stores get stock, etc. Like, don't give up is the basic message that I'm sending here. If you need to get tested, there are ways to get tested, but it's really difficult. It's far more difficult than it should be. We should have known this. Colorado, ahead of the game. Connecticut, ahead of the game. Washington just decided, oh, we're going to send everybody some rapid tests. California, oh, here's some rapid tests. This should have been done weeks ago. Remember after Thanksgiving? Oh my goodness, Omicron's coming. Yeah, we knew. We knew. But most of you guys are forward thinking and you have some tests. We have some tests. That being said, tested my son twice, negative both times. The next morning he wakes up with a fever. Tested him once. Okay, let's say it's an 80% effective result. Now, that being said, he may have been too early in the disease to get the positive result. That's also part of the insidiousness of COVID. But the fact that then the next day, his girlfriend with the eye health test, nausea, soreness, body aches, and a strange taste in her mouth. None of those things triggered the test. Come on, Tess. Morning, Phil. All right, my voice is already starting to go, and I have an audition to shoot, which is due by 11. I'm just waiting for the sun to sort of be out here in Seattle. If you're living in one of the northern climes, by the way, I woke up at 7 o'clock and thought, well, it's going to be light soon because I'm used to Los Angeles. It's still dim out there, and of course, it's Seattle in January, so it's completely overcast. I'm waiting for enough light to shoot the audition and get that in by 11 o'clock. So this is going to be a short broadcast. What I wanted to do is make sure that this actually works so that we can broadcast more later in the day. The Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz are supposed to give some sort of speech around 11 o'clock on the Republican response to January 6th. But let's just to frame that, this is not the far right, if there is such a thing. This is just Fox News. Let's listen to the way that they present the president's speech. Or not. Maybe we won't.
We begin with this Fox News alert moments ago. To mark 1 year since January 6th and the riots, President Biden chose to tell a politically divided nation that he blames the former president for the violence that unfolded on that day. Did he?
Yeah, because that's Trump said, get down to the Capitol and fight like hell.
He miss an opportunity to bring people together by simply recognizing the violence and pain and leaving the politics out of it? I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus.
Because that's what you would do? No, we need to call out the people. He still didn't use Trump's name, by the way, which I mean, just say Trump. Just say Donald Trump. Say President Dump. Go ahead. Sorry, folks. This is a work in progress. Like I said, I just want to make sure this works technically, and then we'll get out. Let me know if there's echo.
Oh, I'll bet he's hearing about it now. The president speaking a short while ago in the nation's capital alongside Vice President Kamala Harris and members of Congress. The president said the former president bears singular responsibility. His
True.
words. The vice president, oddly.
Yeah, the president said the former president bears singular responsibility. His words. Yeah, you just said those were his words, Harris. Wow, she's working hard. She's not walking this back. She's sprinting this back.
Use the ceremony to push for voting reform.
For the first time in our history, a president had not just lost an election, he tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
Yep.
As a violent mob breached the Capitol. The former president of the United States of America has created and spread a web of lies about the 2020 election because his bruised ego matters more to him than our democracy or our Constitution.
Fantastic. Absolutely accurate. Good for Biden. Yeah. Todd stuttery playback. Yeah, I know. I'm seeing it a little bit stuttery coming through as well. That's just the laptop processing. But that's, here we are. I'm stuck in Seattle.
Saw what our nation would look like if the forces who seek to dismantle our democracy are successful.
All right, now the backlash for the White House going full hog politics. But former Republican Congress.
Yeah, going full on politics, talking about an event that had to do with politics, with elections. What should he do? Let's forget about it. Let's move on. Because right now, the forces that caused this to happen in the first place are in action trying to make it happen and be successful next time. 50 different governors have to certify the election. 50 different secretaries of state have to certify the election. Right now, the Republican Party is working to put in Trump sycophants in those positions so that they will not certify the election next time.
Congressman Trey Gowdy and some Republicans say it is time to bury the divisiveness.
We need to forget the lessons of the past. Wow.
This country is not.
I know you're hearing my notifications. I'm going to try and shut that off while you guys watch this.
Not going to be united because of some speech made by a president or a former president. It will only be united when the people are sick and tired of the conflict. Just have one set of rules. If you have one set of rules, even if we don't like the rules, just one set, and stop with this relativism and this duplicity, then I think the American people can begin to say, you know what, we can co.
Well, we have one set of rules. You have an election. If you lose the election, you shut the fuck up. That's the rule right there. Actually, you don't have to shut the fuck up. That's the beauty of this country is you can keep talking, but you cannot scream fire in a crowded Capitol building.
Less around that.
Fox News contributor and former White House press secretary Ari Fleischer is in focus. We will begin with congressional correspondent Aisha Hasni on Capitol Hill. Aisha.
Hey there. Good morning to you, Harris.
Aisha Wane, Jackie Monfina, I-9-A.
Political fighting continues. It didn't take long, just minutes after President Biden took shots at former President Trump. Former President Trump put out his own response, writing this.
Oh, good.
Biden, who is destroying our nation with insane policies of open borders, corrupt elections, disastrous energy policies, unconstitutional mandates, and devastating school closures.
Biden has not closed any schools. Biden does not have the power to close any schools.
Used my name today to try to further.
He did not use his name. That's the thing. Is now the news, every news broadcast, every tweet that I've seen has been Biden referred to President Trump, did not use his name. Never referred to him by name. Referred to him 16 times. 16, we counted them, but never by name. Who the fuck cares? We all know who he's talking about. Whom he's talking about.
Divide America. This political theater is all just a distraction for the fact Biden has completely and totally failed. And this is a very divided Capitol today, Harris. You won't see.
I think, and I don't want to give them any advice, but the primary reason, the fault that the Republicans are concentrating on right now is if they want to win the midterms, just relax. Just relax. You have, if you want to concentrate on Afghanistan, go for it. Make up some lies about Afghanistan. Enjoy. Come next November, this country is going to care about a whole different set of things. Wait until September and then see, is inflation still a problem? Are gas prices still rising? Is Omicron still decimating the population? No, things are going to look much better, hopefully, in September, October, November, as we get closer to the midterms. That's what the Democrats need to run on. Now, if the Democrats knew anything about messaging, then this would be a very different world.
Hardly any Republicans around at today's events, as they say Democrats are politicizing January 6th to lobby for their voting.
I don't know how you could not politicize an event that was purely political in nature. They weren't, the people protesting at the Capitol, trying to overturn the results of the election, trying to stop the steal, weren't there because beef is more expensive.
Rights legislation, of course, after their bill back.
I don't know how. You can be a reporter, an anchor, etc. Not one of their entertainment reporters. I'm talking about you, Harris Faulkner. Not Sean Hannity, not Laura Ingraham, but you guys who are supposed to be journalists. You guys on after Fox and Friends, not part of the Five, not part of Outnumbered, not part of the opinion hosts. You folks who are supposed to be reporting the news. How can you be shocked that this is politicized? It is political.
Better legislation essentially.
Chris Wilson has a good point. Lincoln ended slavery in a completely political move. Inexcusable.
Died over the holidays. In fact, the president and the vice president made sure to emphasize voting rights in their speeches about January 6th today.
Yeah.
From the brutality of Bloody Sunday on the Edmund Pettus Bridge came historic voting rights legislation. So now let's step up, write the next chapter in American history, where January 6th marks not the end of democracy, but the beginning of a renaissance of liberty and fair play.
So there you have it. That's the messaging. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer wants a vote to change the filibuster threshold in order to bypass a GOP blockade on voting rights. He's warning that if Congress doesn't act, January 6th could be the norm. Critics believe Democrats are trying to nationalize the elections. Meanwhile, yesterday, House Republican Conference Chairwoman Elise Stefanik took a shot at Speaker Pelosi's January 6th committee, writing this: the Speaker of the House oversees the Sergeant at Arms, who at her direction has refused to turn over documents and communications related to January 6th. The fact is that Nancy Pelosi bears responsibility as Speaker of the House for leaving the Capitol so vulnerable despite multiple warnings and requests, and now she is responsible for the cover-up of that fact. That committee.
And they continue with the Nancy Pelosi shouldn't have worn something so sexy if she didn't want to get raped. That's the argument. It's Pelosi's fault that Trump sent the people down to riot and storm the Capitol and change the mind and fight like hell and steal the election. It's Pelosi's fault for being so damn cute.
By the way, Harris has been struggling big time to get any Trump allies to testify. They were, however, able to have a private conversation with former White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham yesterday. They do expect to release their preliminary report sometime this summer. But again, a Capitol truly divided today. Harris.
Capitol's always divided. There's been two political parties almost since the beginning of this country. We had three for a while. We've had four, down to two. But it used to be we'd have a president and a vice president from different parties. That used to be a thing in this country. Are we more divided than ever now? Yeah, absolutely, because we've got these bubbles that just replay and reaffirm our beliefs. And suddenly it's truth to us, even though it's not the truth. But if you believe one way or the other, all you have to do is, if you watch this broadcast for 5 minutes this morning, you would think like, oh, this Biden guy sounds terrible. Why is he dividing the nation? No, you can't. The nation's already divided. Here's the fundamental issue, and I'll leave you with this because it's time. I think it's bright enough now that I can go and do my audition, then I'll broadcast later in the day. Here is the fundamental issue, the biggest problem with America. We can't even agree on how to pronounce divisive. You guys take care of yourself. We will see you later in the day.